What's up, guys? It's your girl, Miss O, and we are back for another review of me. And today we are going to get into the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 10, titled Stay Calm and Carry On. And Rulla, you ain't fooling nobody. Um, and Rosie, Miss Nosey Rosie, I think you are becoming my MVP for this season. But with that being said, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let somebody know I'm over here doing reviews. So, as noted, we are going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Today, I will not be on screen. I just took my braids out and I'm co washing my hair right now. But, anywho, we start this episode off with Liz and Joelle exiting their little bullshit meeting. And Joellen gets in the car and she calls Alicia and let Alicia know, pretty much I'm paraphrasing. Liz is psycho. This did not go how I thought it was gonna go. And Alicia just let her know, look, you didn't do anything wrong. I kind of agree with you, Alicia. Voicing her opinion is not doing anything wrong, but straddling the fence between friends is. If you're gonna be neutral, be neutral. But don't get with Alicia and say one thing and then get with Liz and say another thing and get with Rosie and say another thing. It looked like you playing games and we too old for that. But that was pretty much the wrap up of that scene, and then we move on to the next scene, which is Rula and Cheater B. And this was a bullshit scene. This was just a scene to make it look like they were cohesive and in one accord with one another. They did plug in his foot clinic, so that was a plus. But they get together. Apparently, she hit her toe on the door and then lifted up the nail. Now that shit hurts. I know from personal experience. When I was a senior in high school, the, playing with my friend, pushed the door, my toenail lifted up, and I had to go to a second prom and my graduation with a ugly ass toe. The nail was extremely painful. All the trials and tribulations that they experienced during the summer. And she said, hey, normally we throw a party for the end of the summer. How about we throw a party and we keep the invite list to who we want to actually invite? So they decided to do a Arabian theme night where they're going to have belly dancers and hookah and some more stuff. And they both have decided to invite everyone except for Gary and Joella. And I'm gonna be honest, it's at their home. I am okay with Rula not extending that invite to Joella and Gary for a party that she's hosting at her home. I'm completely fine with that. But we're not gonna sit up here and play games and act like Joella is the reason for the turmoil within your relationship, Rula. It's your fuck ass husband. So then we move on to the next scene, which is Crybaby Spice, aka Ashley, and her husband Jared. Um, I like Ashley, but her storyline with display of her husband and her family, I'm getting a little irritated behind, and I'm gonna explain why. You want your husband to quit what he has going on so that you guys can make more money doing something that he does not want to do. It is very clear that Jared does not want to be on social media being an influencer. Um, why? I have no clue. But y'all need to come to some type of happy medium because you're going to keep on nagging about him letting Audrey's go, and it's going to cause a problem within y'all relationship. You can see he is exhausted, and it is not just from that job. It is clear that you have had had this discussion with your parents. I believe those are Ashley parents. So it's clear that you have had this discussion with your parents. Jared has picked up on it because he said, "What you mean sell? No, I'm not selling." Jared, if Audrey's is fulfilling whatever needs to be fulfilled inside for you, don't let your wife coerce you to close the business because you're going to end up regretting it. So we're going to wrap up this scene, and the next scene is going to be Liz and Dolores, and they are going to the Rhode Island State House, and they're going to meet with the senator and the Rhode Island House of Representative. I think that was her title. Don't get me wrong. And they are going to discuss a bill that was passed making Rhode Island a first state to protect women of a certain age who are going through menopause. And kudos to you, Liz and Dolores. I think this is amazing. I'm not quite there yet, but I will be getting there. And hopefully, by the time I get there, things are going to progress to other states and we have protection for women of that caliber. That's amazing to see. It's also good to see that socialites with money are taking advantage of the platform that they have to do something that's going to work for everybody. I mean, we need our jobs and we need our jobs to be protected when we are experiencing something we have no control over. But with that being said, they also let the senator and the House of Representatives know that they are creating a product that is geared towards menopause, which is going to be using the cannabis portions to help with that. It looked like it worked when y'all was in the lab. I'm excited to see what it does. I do have parents who are going through it right now. So I'm on board to purchase the item from y'all to see how it will work for us. But that wraps up that scene, and we move on to the next scene, which is a scene with Rosie, Miss Nosey Rosie, and Alicia. And Rosie showed up to Alicia home with a bouquet of flowers, and they are going to bling up some ducks because if you are familiar with the Jeep Wrangler, they get ducked. And they're putting jewels on there, and it's just going to be a project with Alicia, Rosie, and Alicia's daughter, Chloe. Rosie, I don't know what Kelsey's issue with you, but you seem like a really good friend because you meet your friends where they are. You know for sure that Alicia is childish as hell. Bedazzling some rubber duckies so that you could duck other people is right up her alley. And I do appreciate you um, honing in on that. They did bedazzle the hell out of these little rubber duckies. But they go into a conversation about how Alicia was feeling. And Rosie does feel like Alicia's feelings are valid, which they are because they're her feelings. But Alicia was also expressing to her that she was very appreciative of her family backing her up because uh, Liz is making Alicia feel like that she's lying about the situation, and it's not. When you're close friends with people, you might not know everything that's going on in a world. And even though Alicia does have a big family, her family was not going to let her or her mother be out in the street. But by her mother and her definition, they were homeless because they didn't have something that was their own. They were couch surfing. They shared a room together at Alicia's grandmother's house. They didn't have their own. They were homeless. That's it. I hope we do not bring this damn conversation up in season two. Moving on. So then they continue the conversation. Now I will say, I didn't think Miss Chloe, 9-year-old Chloe, should have been present for this girl talk because this is a dark girl talk. But either way, she was present. Um, they talk about the video with Rula and Cheater B, and Rosie is like, "Look, We've been known about this. We've been known about this video since we were in Newport. No one has brought it up to Rulla's attention. I don't think that's a good idea. I don't like when people talk about me behind my back. And since you're the closest with Rulla, Alicia, you should bring it up. Now, I don't think that we should bring it up at her party. I do agree. There's always a time and a place. But I feel Rosie. I don't want to be all up in her face and I know this information. So, yeah. Somebody gonna tell. So we move on to the next scene, which is a mini montage. We see Kelsey zapping herself, and then we see Rosie and Alicia sitting together as they're getting ready. Ellen happens to call, and she lets her know that her and Rosie are getting together because Rula has invited them to her Arabian themed party. Now, Ellen said, "Well, I didn't get the invite. Clearly, she's uncomfortable with me, and that's fine. You guys have a good time and catch me up later." I'm paraphrasing. So we move on from that and we arrive at Rula's party. And they are, I guess, in the early stage because they're still setting up. And I will say, they do look good, but what kind of Arabian theme outfits do they have on? Black, black and gold. Y'all giving me dark Egyptian vibes. Cheater B and Rula already know it's gonna be some shit, so they already start drinking. So the first to arrive from the group is Crybaby Spice, aka Ashley, and her husband Jared. And it appears that Jared never follows direction when it comes to a party. He has on a white shirt and some black slacks. He just seems very disinterested, but his wife, he's being supportive for his wife. I can appreciate that. Ashley showed up like an Egyptian princess getting ready to be crowned queen. I do love that ponytail on her. I love the look on her. It's just not Arabian thing. They get together and they have a little chit chat on what took place at the trivia night. And you can tell that everyone is awkward with Rula because they know what they know and they really don't know how to address her. But they want to be girls to girls and stand tall with her. You ladies are not going to be able to stand tall with her because she can't stand tall for herself. So next up to arrive is going to be Alicia and Billy. And Alicia is just childlike minded and I love it, but I hate it as well. Um, she just got an innocence about her that is joyous. But anyways, they speak on her not speaking to Liz and that she just really want to clear the air. Then we flip over to Liz and her husband Gary and they talk about it. And Gary seems surprised that Liz is still not, I mean, Alicia is still not talking to Liz. But I want to see if you'll have that same response after you see everything transpiring at the reunion. But either way, they arrive and them two, uh, before they see each other, agree to be on their best behavior. So Kelsey arrives with her only boyfriend, Billy. And like I said, excuse me, no one got the fucking memo because everybody is wearing black, everybody is looking dark, everybody is looking like a gothic Egyptian. And that's just it. You can tell that it's an awkward moment in silence between Kelsey and Rosie. Kelsey is really feeling it, so she is deciding to part ways. Um, Rosie arrives with her husband Rich, and she looks like the only one that got the memo for the Arabian theme night. She has on a outfit similar to Princess Jasmine, but it's in red. She really looks good. I can't appreciate Rosie following directions. Side note, the cameraman is shady as hell. The way he zoomed in on Kelsey being hot and bothered. Kelsey, I don't understand what your problem is with Miss Nosey Rosie, but you need to get over it. Because you coming across like a jealous bitch. Anyway, moving forward. They do end up having a conversation. Rosie, I will say that I think Kelsey had time to think about it and she does have some sort of understanding that the bullshit that she pulled was some bullshit. I do think that she was genuinely trying to apologize, but Kelsey, Rosie does not have to accept your apology. And I'm with Rosie. I'm gonna handle you with a long spoon. You can stay over there. We can be cordial, but you didn't do too many things too many times for my liking for me to even really give a fuck about your friendship. Moving forward, so finally the queen bee arrives. Miss Liz, she has on a gold top and partial see-through bottoms pants. She looks good. Look like an Egyptian. Only person followed the rules was Rosie, really, because what the hell Cheater B and Rula had on, because they had on black and gold as well. I guess I'm irritated with the costumes that they decided to wear. Anyways, moving forward. So as night falls, the activities start going. We have Dolores showing up. And it appears she had gifts in her hand. Yes, Dolores, when you come to a party. Anywho, then we have the belly dancer. She looks good and she was thick. Looked like a regular person. Something I want to see, not skin and bones. Anyways, moving forward. Brian's up there, Cheater B, up there in that lady face, smiling all up, and everybody is awkwardly staring at Cheater B because they all have seen the video, and it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. So Rosie has a conversation with Alicia and asks her if she was going to approach Liz. And Alicia said, I'm going off of vibes. And she said, hey, look, if the opportunity arises, be the bigger person. She was like, I know that's hard to hear coming from me because I'm not being the bigger person. Because I did see Kelsey and I did not speak to her. I really don't blame you, Rosie. I feel like you've tried and we still haven't gotten a real reason on why Kelsey does not care for you. And at this point, I don't care why she doesn't care for you because it's other people in the world that we can entertain ourselves with. So the husband and boyfriend, the only boyfriend, you got Rich and you have Billy. When I tell you I like me some Rich because he want to get straight to the point and he for whatever Rosie is on. He know that the situation with Kelsey is bothering Rosie. He knows that Rosie felt disrespected when Kelsey pulled that bullshit she pulled. So he decided to do man to man conversation with the only boyfriend. Say, hey, I just want us to have peace. Is there any way you can help facilitate a conversation between my wife and your girl so we can get on one accord? And this is what men do. I'm not saying that it's going to work, but this is a man who cares about how his wife is feeling because he know those emotions may cause some issues within their household potentially. So let's nip this shit in the bud. Rich, your girl over here, I like you. Anyways, I did jump a little ahead of time and discuss that conversation between Kelsey and Rosie, but again, Kelsey apologized. It appeared to be genuine. Rosie really doesn't give a damn. Rosie like, okay, let's just keep it copacetic when we're in each other's presence. I don't blame her. So Alicia approached the table where Liz, Dolores, Kelsey, and the rest of the ladies are, and it does get a little bit awkward. But Liz and Alicia do step aside, and they do have this conversation. And Alicia is like, "Look, Liz, I love you. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to be uneasy. You know, I felt sad. I wanted you to hear me, and I'm paraphrasing this, guys. I felt sad. I wanted you to hear me. I thought of all people within this friend group, you, Liz, will understand where I was coming from. And from Liz's perspective, she felt like she wasn't even given grace to understand where Alicia was coming from and to apologize to her. But when you were apologizing to her, Liz, it was just like, oh, well, I'm sorry if I made you feel that way. And don't nobody want no bitch ass apology like that. But the conversation that you guys are having now, Alicia feel like it's a huge deal what you did to apologize for her, and if she's okay with accepting that, we as viewers have to be okay with accepting that. Liz, I like you. I think I'm starting to have a little bit more understanding of the emotional roller coaster it appears that we are seeing on screen because you are going through experience with menopause. I'm gonna give you grace on that. I don't know what it's like to feel like that, but I know what it feels like to be in a depressive state. So, in a mood changing state. So, I'm gonna give you grace. Alicia accept the apology. I guess we all good here. We move on to the next scene, which is Rulla talking to Rosie and Alicia. Nosey Rosie, you are amazing at your job, and if you don't want to be on screen anymore, I can understand that. But I do believe you need to start your own blog, doing investigative work on whatever you want to talk about. Because, baby, the way you just get down to these questions and bring up conversations, people don't even know you are entrapping them into getting information out of them. You compliment Rula about the eyeliner on her eyes, and then you jump straight to it. Say, what's been going on? I feel like I haven't seen you since the polo match. So much has happened, and we know we are going to get to the shrimp and grits of it all, which is this video that Joellen showed everybody at the damn castle. Rosie begins to spill the beans and says, "You were a big topic of conversation." Rula want to act delusional. Like, why? Why was I? Because your man is a cheater. You asked for proof. Joellen got it. However, Joellen got it because that is up for interpretation, and we will find out at this reunion, hopefully. But she got the proof. They all were in one place. Everyone seen the video, but nobody wanted to bring it to you because of the way you act when it comes to the conversation of Cheater B. So we were trying to figure out who was going to tell you. Now, I'm not upset at Rula's reaction with Alicia knowing about the video because apparently Alicia knows Rula the longest, and Rula is a little bit confused on why Alicia didn't say anything to her. Well, why would she say anything to you? Every time somebody says something to you about Cheater B, look at your responses. So Rosie flat out asks Rula, "Do you know about the video?" Rula says, "I don't know anything about the video." And Alicia is just over there buckling at the knees because, oh my God, Rosie didn't get it. I wish you would have gave me a heads up. So while Alicia is over there looking like a deer caught in the headlights, Rosie is getting straight to it. She said, "Look, what I saw in the video is messed up. Do you know what's in the video? Do you want to see what's in the video?" And then we cut to a commercial break. And when we get back, Ruler just deflects. Rula decided to hear what Rosie had to say, and Rosie just tell her, "Hey, the date on the video is the day before the polo match." She said, "How do you know the date is correct?" She said, "Because it was on the car." And basically, it was a blonde, and there was a lot of kissing and touching in the video. And Rula, I can't believe that are allowing this man to play with your life like this. I can't understand it. So while they're having this discussion, Cheater B decides to walk up and um, Rulla, I'm so upset that you are on national TV allowing this man to play in your face like this. I barely can get through the review looking at this. But anyway, I like Rosie because she calling him out. She the B decides to walk up and Ruler basically fills him in like, hey, they say it's a video, I'll hear you. And he says, you can change the time stamp. Now the first time I watched the episode, I did not catch this, but that man called her Hoellen. And when I tell you Gary gonna get into that ass at the reunion, I hope they bring the husbands because the husbands really play a part in the boyfriend, really play a part in this first season. I really hope they do bring the husbands because I hope Gary check you about their cheater be moving along. They feel the awkward air with taking shots. They decide to go over to the bar and take shots. And as they are walking over to the bar, Ross said, hey, look, we tried. It didn't go so well, but we can't say we didn't try to let her know. Rula in her confessional said, we are moving past everything. And just when I feel like we're in a good space, I'm paraphrasing, another bomb is dropped on me. Don't blame the people that's bringing it to you. These people are bringing it to you because they actually, I feel like, care. They don't want you walking around looking like a dummy. You are a boss in the, financial world, but you're looking like a sad puppy dog in your relationship, and it is showing this man is literally out here showboating his mistress around without a care in the world. It does not make any sense. Moving along. She says she got her ways of finding out if something is going on. Well, I need you to get to it. Ooh la la. I really do need you to get to it. But the ladies did tell you, so it is what it is. So we wrap up the party with the toast, and they toasted to bitches love summer. Alicia, girl, I don't know where you be getting your little toast from. Anyway, so we move on to the next scene, and the next scene is going to be Kaysley, aka Kelsey, and Liz, and I think they are crabbing. I think that's what they're going to be doing. Um, if you live in Rhode Island that and grew up there, I guess that's something you have done growing up, and this is a way for them to catch up. So they are conversating, and Kelsey is putting together a cash trip to Block Island. And to Rhode Islanders, Block Island is very near and dear to their heart. Ashley described it as the Caribbean or the Bahamas for people of Rhode Island. And a lot of the ladies and their husband have special moments on this island. So, what better way to get together, all of us couples, and end this thing out with a bang? So, our season finale is going to consist of this cast at dinner. I cannot wait. Moving along. For Liz, Block Island is especially, it has a special place in her heart. She got married there, she proposed there. We found out that Rula and Cheater B had their first date there. It's a lot of great memories for a lot of the ladies. So Kelsey thought it would be a great idea to wrap up this summer. Everybody get together, hash out their feelings, and get on one accord. Liz did ask Kelsey if she invited Rosie Kelsey really didn't give us a direct answer, so I don't think at that moment she did, but she understood that that's what she needed to do. But Kelsey also let Liz know, Joellen's gonna be there, and Liz like, what can go wrong? A lot could possibly go wrong, but I think some courageous things may happen based off the trailer. Moving along. Joellen and her husband Gary. I really do like these couples because it really shows a side of what really happens in the households because we pillow talk. At some point, we pillow talk. So Gary asks her, "Hey, what about Queen Queen Elizabeth? Is she, going to be there? How is it going to take place?" He also asks about if Rula and Brian is coming. And from Joellen's understanding, everybody is going to be in attendance and everyone is in attendance. So Joellen do want to discuss this whole video and everything, the topic of Cheater B. And at first you would, just to let it go, you will want Joellen to not talk about it. But when you making it seem like I'm a liar, we're gonna nip this shit in the bud. We're gonna talk about it. Because what you're not gonna do is make it seem like I'm doing something that I'm not doing because you don't want to address the fact that your husband and us out here cheating. Brian, you should be ashamed of yourself that your wife have to do all of this to save face for a bullshit marriage that y'all have going on. Because if you cared about her, you wouldn't have her out here looking like that. Anywho, um, Gary is gonna speak with Brian at some point. Joellen says she's gonna address Rula at some point, and hopefully we get this resolved. Joellen also discussed with her husband about this friendship between her and Liz, and it comes across that at some point in time in Joellen's life, Liz provided something motherly that she never received from her actual mother, and she's honing in on that, and it's making her want to fight for this friendship. I think the way you've moved for Liz has given her a different perspective of you, and I think you guys need to communicate because it does appear that Joellen is straddling the fence with everybody because Joellen wants to be, she wants everybody approval because she has experienced the things that she experienced in her childhood with her mother and being sent away and all of these things. She is going to, with therapy, she's going to always continue to seek approval from the people that she deem her friends or people that she care about because she don't want them to see any bad in her because when she wasn't doing bad, it was placed on her. Liz is older. Her tolerance for bullshit is very low, and just she pays attention to the way people move, and just the way Joellen has been moving has been troubling for her. But I think if they communicate and have an understanding on where each other is in how they operate, they come to a better understanding. Moving along, um, Gary, for Joellen's sake, hopes that this conversation goes over well. We flip back to Liz and Kelsey asks Liz, like, how you gonna handle this situation on Block Island with Joellen? And Liz basically tells us that Joellen has broken her trust. There are things that have taken place. She feels like Joellen does things premeditated, and her reaction is she feel like Joellen throw a rock and hide her hand. And the way it's editing, I definitely see where Liz is coming from. I definitely see where Liz is coming from. But also, retrospectively, I see where everybody else is coming from. Liz that snapped on Kelsey, that snapped on Alicia, that snapped on Joellen, that set Rula live straight. Like, it comes off very strong. Um, and you gotta let your guard down if this is gonna be your friend group. You can't always be looking over your shoulder. These ladies really care for you, Liz. So, you know, we'll see on the season finale how everything changed or will work out. But that wraps up the end of episode 10. If you guys made it to the end of this video, please do me a favor. Like the video, drop down in the comments, have some Discord with me. Tell me what you guys thought. I'll be in the comments. I'll be responding to the comments. So you drop a comment, you're gonna get a response from me. But with that being said, I'm going to rate this episode a 9. And my MVP is going to go to Nosey Rosie. Okay? Um, but that's all I got for you guys. I'm your girl, Miss O, and this is what I had to say about Real Housewives of Rhode Island, episode 10. I love you guys. Catch you on the flip side.